Now this is a brand new laser that just came through the door, and it's the type of laser that no one is talking about. Now you'll see in the market people talking about diode lasers, moped lasers because of their color capabilities. And one of my favorite lasers that you're seeing a flood in the market is UV. This, however, is neither of those. This is a laser that no one is talking about. This is a CO2 laser. Now many of you will ask yourself, CO2, isn't that the really large gantry lasers? We've heard of those in the CO2 space. Well, this is an actual galvo-based CO2 laser that is going to be a specialty laser for our shop that focuses on tumblers and some wood products. And you heard that right. So if you are someone who likes to engrave Yetis and you've experienced burning on that Yeti or on that Stanley tumbler or any type of drinkware, guess what? This laser, because of the type, is the most forgiving when it comes to engraving on those tumblers. It's the easiest, it's the fastest, and if you want to do a full wrap in minutes, not hours, you'll want to check out our videos when we do this review. Now the laser that you see here is from HAOTIAN. HAOTIAN specializes in performance commercial grade lasers that have high output, low maintenance, and have incredible durability. We've actually reviewed their lasers in the past, and these are known in the industry for, again, for those high performance uses. So what we'll do is we are going to be unboxing this on our channel. We're going to be doing full wraps. We're going to be doing tumblers. I just want you to see how this is the type of machine that you'll want to get if you're going to be doing volume when it comes to tumblers. Or if you're starting a business and you just want to be able to grow it and get the right machine the first time, you'll want to check out HAOTIAN. Now when HAOTIAN sends you lasers, they send them in two different package types. Sometimes you get them in crates, sometimes you get them in these hard, thick cardboard boxes. And they basically come incredibly well wrapped as well as with straps, right? So if it's the wood box or the wood crates, it has a different support system and locking system from this one. But you could see here, this came from China. And yeah, some of the straps came off, and I'm showing you like how it was delivered. But for the most part, this box is super intact, which means, you know, that the product is going to be well protected as well. You'll see it comes with the HAOTIAN logo, has some information here on the side about the actual machine itself that we'll see more of very shortly. Now here's something that's pretty interesting. I was trying to figure out why this weighed so much. And as I opened up the box, notice that inside the box, there's another box. This one happens to be a wood box. That's why there's so much weight. Everything, as you can see here, there's really good foam everywhere, keeping everything secure and in place. And then here's the laser, because the laser is actually very small. This is the laser source right here. But I was just trying to figure out where is all this weight coming from. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and unpack everything else and see what's involved. Now, once you remove the foam, you find your actual laser itself, and then you can see the tower right there, which is also pretty large. It is motorized, and we're going to be putting this on a different type of riser because we're going to be using this as something that's a little bit more mobile. And because this is a CO2 laser, this is going to allow us to do some very large wooden pieces. Primarily, we're going to be doing tumblers, but I just want to show you my setup is going to be a little bit different than what you see right here. Now, CO2 lasers are the best lasers when it comes to tumblers. This is going to be a specialty machine. As a matter of fact, I have it set up specifically for tumblers, and we'll talk about that in a couple seconds. Now, HAOTIAN carries several laser types, and we've looked at a lot of these lasers on our channel. They do have a moped laser, they have a UV laser, and they have a CO2 laser. Now, this laser is a purpose-built laser for tumblers. If you want to get in the tumbler, I would say engraving business, this is the type of machine you want to get because of its unparalleled speed. This is going to be the fastest when it comes to engraving, actually, and removing that material that you see for a tumbler there. And it's going to be the most forgiving when it comes to the settings. So if you have struggled with white, purple, red, blue, yellow, whatever color it is when it comes to just removing material to engrave, you're not going to find that struggle here. Also, the engraving of this material is going to be cleaner, and you're not going to have the kind of lines that you see on the metal that you see with the fiber laser or a UV laser. So again, this laser is really designed, or it's purpose built for organic materials, especially when it comes to tumblers. Now you're going to be able to do bamboo, you'll be able to do wood, you'll be able to do leather. We do that as well, but really our focus for this machine is going to be speed for tumblers, because this is where it's going to change our business model and increase our profitability. Now this laser type is my favorite when it comes to its form factor. Traditional lasers have a large box, something that's kind of the size of a desktop PC, that either sits on the side or sits underneath the table because it's so large. In this case, it's small, it attaches to the tower, and it balances out really well because it's lightweight, and it also includes all the controls. Notice here a couple of things that are going on here. This is your up and down for the actual laser head. You also have your emergency stop, which is also your power on and power off. You have a really nice display that you're going to see in a couple seconds. And then all of the connections you have underneath here, you have for your pedal, your rotary, and then you have for the tower on the back, the actual connection so that you're able to raise and lower your tower. But everything is tightly integrated and it's really clean. Now, I really also like this color. One thing to note is that Hoatian will color your laser to your choice, to your preference. I actually went with gray. My colors are black, gray, or white. I kind of don't do color that much. Nelda loves color, so if this was Nelda's laser, she would make it pink. This is mine, so it's gray. Now, a couple things that I'll also highlight, and you'll notice here at the very top, this is a relatively large head, larger than I would see in something, let's say, for example, a UV. They change in size depending on the laser source type, but the actual lenses themselves are relatively small. Now, our laser comes with 3 lenses, and I'm just going to show them to you. One is installed, and what Hoatian does is they pre-calibrate it for you and measure it so that you don't have to figure that out. And actually, the files that they give you are already pre-configured. So what you'll see here is I have a 210 lens, and then what I also have here is a 110 lens. Right now, these lenses are going to give you the ability to have more detail. They cover a smaller area. When you think about these numbers, the numbers define the area that it can engrave. When you think about a 210, that's 210 millimeters. If you have a 110, that's 110 millimeters, and then a 300 would give you even more space. So here what I'm going to do is I want to show you what these lenses look like. They are very, very thin, tiny in my mind. Take a look at how small this is. This is really, really small. And then what we'll do is we'll remove this so you can see what the lens looks like. These are all screw-on lenses. So you can screw these on and screw these off. And you'll see right here, here's the lens. And you can see it says right there that it is a 110. But that is super tiny. These are the lenses. And by the way, lenses aren't interchangeable. You can't use a CO2 lens on a UV laser, and you can't do the reverse either. You'll damage them. So make sure that if you do upgrade your lens or pick up another lens, that you have the appropriate lens for the right laser. And you'll notice right here, it says CO2. So put these lenses aside because depending on your order, you're going to get a couple lenses. Now we're going to get a little closer here so that we can see what's going on the side. So you'll notice right here when I have my lenses, I have for each lens, I have a number. This is my focal point for each one of these lenses depending on which one I have in. And what they do also is they supply you with a ruler. Now this is a very long ruler, and what you'll be doing with this ruler is you'll be placing it here on the side, and you'll notice that line. That line, each line represents the height for the specific lens itself. So as you're measuring from the material down up, you'll want to make sure that in this case, if I have my one of my lenses, it's going to be for the smallest one, I got 168, I have 345, and I have a 520. Each one of these is going to represent a different lenser or laser lens. Now the laser will also include a foot pedal. So this is a pedal. If you're going to be using repetitive engraving, you can actually attach this to the actual laser itself and then step on it when you want to start it up again. You will also get some protective glasses that you can wear, which is really important. And also you'll get a series of wipes that you'll be able to keep things nice and clean. And one of the things that you're going to notice, and this is one of our products that we carry, this is what Nelda carries in her store, is we have this focal chain. Now, instead of using the actual ruler that you saw there, what we do is we use this chain. This chain has been cut to the length for the focal point, and all we do is we attach it to the actual laser. It has a magnetic mount right here that is using double-sided tape. And anytime we want to focus something, all we have to do is make sure that the laser height is adjusted to these beads, to the level of these beads as they're going down, or this chain. So this is a really convenient way to get focused really quick. And what we do is we have multiple of these. We have one for each lens. So each lens requires a different length. And what we do is we cut each one to every length. And we have these little tags that you can put in here that allow you to label the lens to say that this is for this lens, this is for that lens. And then all you have to do is grab your lens, your actual focal chain, and then put it when you're using it based on the lens that you choose. And it's as simple as putting it in like this. doing the turn like that. It's just free moving, getting it on the material, and then removing it and putting it away. Now, Hoatian also includes this little tag just to keep your lens clean. So what you can do is you can just remove it upon every use, and then what you can do is put it back on just to keep your lens dust-free. This is a good, I would say, preventative maintenance habit so that you're not having to clean your lens every single time because dust does impair the quality of the engrave. Now, Hoatian has several different rotaries that you can choose from, and they do supply third-party solutions like this one right here, which is the Talon. And the Talon Pro, just the Rotoboss series, is one of the best rotaries that you can find on the market from its mechanics and its smooth movement. This thing is butter smooth as it's moving around, and you'll see how I have it here. And this is one of the sample cups that I've been testing. I'm going to go ahead and loosen it so you can see. So all you do is you turn this right here, and then this goes like this, and then locks into place. This is going to give you really rapid, I would say, engraving of tumblers, and you can swap things out really quickly. It also features self-leveling. So one of the problems that you run into is when you're actually putting this on a rotary, it could be, is your cup crooked? But because it has these large bases here, as soon as you put it in, it levels itself. So it has a self-leveling feature that allows you to level. Now, one of the things that you'll be doing is as you're using a rotary, obviously you'll want to make sure that the rotary is level. We've already done that. And then we've also positioned it so it's right in the center. But you have, again, this is just a fantastic, fantastic rotary. I can't recommend this enough as a solution for you because there's no tools required. This is all it takes, right? And the thing about it is that the jaws that you see right here and these things that come out, you can reconfigure them. You can move them around if you'd like to. I love this for if you're doing any kind of UV engraving and using a UV rotary or UV laser, or in this case, because this is dedicated for tumblers of this type, you're going to be able to get, again, incredible value from having an investment like this. This, you spend the money once and you'll never have to spend the money again. This is one of the sample cups that we have been testing, and this took us 1 minute and 55 or 54 seconds, and this was on the rotary. We did another engrave, and it took us just around 25 seconds to do, but we were using the curved cylinder correction feature to do that. So depending on what you're engraving or how you look to engrave or how large your logo is, if you're just using, for example, here we have this symbol, something like this, I could get away with curved engraving. And matter of fact, I could actually get away with curved engraving with this entire area, but what you'll run into at times is that the corners here may not come out as you'd like them to. So if you're going to get something that is going to go a little bit further out, like these numbers for the phone number, then you probably want to do the rotation. But again, you can see how clean that is. This is what we're talking about, a CO2 engrave. You'll notice that there are no marks. Make sure you can see that really clearly. There are no marks on the metal whatsoever. It's nice and clean. And again, the time on this, if you were to do this, for example, on an X tool, F1, F2, F2 Ultra, you'll never get the speed. And you'll also, from a quality perspective, you're not going to get something that's going to be of this quality just because of the laser type. Again, this is a CO2, and the CO2 does miraculously well when it comes to metal, and then it also does well with leather and acrylic. The one thing I will tell you, though, is that because of the CO2 laser type, the actual dot size, which ties into resolution, and being able to get really, really, really small fonts is not possible. But if you're doing stuff like this, and you're working on tumblers of any type, this is going to be able to do it for you, and it's going to be able to do it fast. And remember, time is money. The faster you can get a cup done, the more money you make. The longer it takes, your labor costs go up, your profitability goes down. This is the way to go. CO2 all the way if you're going to be doing a tumbler of any type. Now we're going to go ahead and turn on the laser. Remember, we have up and down, which is going to be for the galvo head. And then what you have over here is your power button and your emergency stop. This is going to light up, and you're going to see this in a second, and you're going to hear the fans. Now, because this is not a water-cooled laser, the fans are higher because of that, right? So I'm going to turn it on. And there's some white noise being generated by the fan because, again, it has to cool the actual laser to perform its best. Hot lasers don't do well, like overly hot lasers. You can actually damage the laser. The longevity of the laser is going to be impacted. So this is maintaining and keeping the laser cool. The other thing that you'll notice here, and we'll go ahead and pan down, you do have your dot, right? So you have your dot right here. And then if I'm going to raise the laser, right, or lower it, all I have to do is press these buttons right here, And this will go down or this will go up, right? It's pretty smooth mechanics when it comes to doing that. And once you have that set, you're ready to go. All right, so we're going to start an engraving on a tumbler here, and this is going to be on the Rotary. I want you to notice that this is taking 38 seconds. 38 seconds. I've never engraved anything this fast, and more importantly, there's no cleanup after this. This is a company logo with the salesperson name that I'm just testing, and you can see how the Rotary is going through this. The laser is just pulverizing the material, and you can see how it's shining. There's no wipe, there's no cleaning. It's just ready to go. Now, I'll wipe it off because there's a slight debris, but you don't have to put any LA Awesome. And you'll notice within 38 seconds, we have an immaculate engrave. Now, the next one here is a cylinder correction. This is even faster. This will just blow your mind. 13.2 seconds. This is the exact same logo with the same salesperson's name, same phone number in 13 seconds. Cylinder correction. Gotta love it. Now take a look at the overall finish. This is why CO2 lasers are the best when it comes to any kind of Yeti tumbler, any kind of tumbler that you have Stanley, and they're incredibly forgiving. Now I've been using the same settings to do multiple colors and they have turned out the same way. I've actually done some larger, some 40 ounce and some 30 ounce Yetis, and the time for cylinder correction was approximately the same. I think the longest it took was 33 seconds because the image was a lot larger, but I'm looking at anywhere from 13 seconds to 33 seconds to do engravings of this type with cylinder correction. And think about that. Think about how many tumblers you can get through in an hour, and what does that mean to your profit margin? This is spectacular.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.